Dad, I'm joining the Marine Corps. This is what one of my coaching students, Greg, said to his dad many years ago that changed everything in his life. Now, the reason this was such a profound statement, I mean, anytime a parent hears that from their kid, it's a game changer. But in this case, it was a major game changer because Greg's dad was a huge influencer and still is in the country. He was a self-made man that had created an amazing business for himself, a fantastic entrepreneur, and was now sitting on all kinds of different boards, CEOs of Fortune 100 companies. And really Greg was on a path to fill his dad's shoes, to go to Princeton, get all the business bona fides and all of that and the pedigree, and then step in and take things to the next level for his dad. I mean, the path was cleared for that. Nope. Greg decides he's going to join the Marine Corps out of Princeton, become an infantry officer, and cut his own path. And that's exactly what he does. And let me tell you something. He got scuffed up. His ass got scuffed up in the Marine Corps, extremely tough line of work. And then when he got out, his transition was really hard. And I know this from experience. Going from being a Marine or from a military person to a civilian is extremely hard. And it was for Greg. He had a hard time finding himself and his place in the world. He didn't just walk back to daddy's company. He cut his own path. He became a consultant. He didn't even have a place to live for a while, was homeless. And I mean, it was a big transition for him. But eventually, he stayed with it. And today, he's the CEO of not one, but two major wealth management companies in New York City. He's a regular on CNBC as an influencer on Money Matters and all kinds of Money Matter issues and all kinds of different financial magazines. The guy is a player. How? How did he go from making a decision to go in the Marine Corps and just getting off the path that he was on to where he is today as a major player in the world? He was unreasonable. He was unreasonable about executing and achieving the tracks that he wanted to leave in this world. He knew that he had a bigger game to play than what had been set in front of him. He was clear on what those tracks were, and he was willing to be unreasonable in executing those tracks. Now, that's the theme that we're talking about this week, and it's the leaving tracks, it's putting indelible impressions in the earth that serve people who follow you is really the theme for October 2017. So it's only natural that you're willing to be unreasonable to leave tracks in this world. I'm not talking about being unreasonable as a matter of attitude, or just, to be obstinate. That's a pain in the ass, and frankly, it's a horrible way to lead. But being unreasonable in the execution and achievement of your tracks, the fulfillment of your dreams, which are sacred things, that is absolutely what I want you to do. It's absolutely essential if you're going to serve a higher purpose in your life. Because you see, when you leave tracks like what Greg knew he needed to do, to change the industry, that the way that he is in the wealth management world, he knew that was a big goal. He knew if he was going to support veterans the way he needed to, and diversity, that's a big goal. You can't be casual about that. You have to be unreasonable, especially when you consider the resistance that you're going to face. Stephen Pressfield in his book, War of Art, talks about resistance. It's that negative force that puts itself between us and our higher selves, our tracks that we're trying to achieve. And you better believe that as you pursue your tracks in life, your purpose, that the enemy is going to put herself between you and those goals. It's going to happen. And it'll show up in different ways. First of all, you're going to see amateurs all around you. You'll notice amateurs like never before. You see the difference. There's a lot of difference between pros and amateurs. I hang out with pros. Pros are crystal clear on what their tracks are. They're crystal clear, and they're willing to push through walls to achieve those tracks. Amateurs, they don't have a clue what their tracks are, and they'll try to deflect you. They'll try to dissuade you. They'll try to detract from what you're doing just by being amateurs, right? And you got to be on the lookout for that. A lot of people will tell you to play it safe. The so-called leaders who have the microphone today in politics, even some corporate levels, and other institutions that we've traditionally trusted us, you know what they're telling us today? Don't worry about that. Play it safe. Don't get out in the street and get your heart broken. You're just going to get hurt if you do that. Let us take care of it. Let us take care of you. The reason that you're not where you are right now and you're not achieving the tracks you want in this world, it's not your fault. It's their fault. Let us handle that. You just focus on, being comfortable. Stay in the bleachers. Let us take care of you, right? That's what's going on with leadership today, and we're sacrificing and we're trading in our dreams, our tracks, those sacred things that as meaning-seeking creatures on this friggin' planet, we're here to do, right? And you better believe that resistance will show up that way, and it will try to dissuade you from pursuing those tracks by just saying, stay in the bleachers. Let us take care of you, right? You can also bet that when resistance will put herself between you as the enemy, when you're trying to leave tracks, with spears, knives, and crabs, right? Spears of anonymity that are thrown at you when you try to go out there on social media or on media or other platforms and lead from the front. People nowadays have the ability to use anonymity and throw spears at you. And that's just the way it's going to be. It's a natural thing because you're forcing people to look at themselves in ways that they don't necessarily want to do because they may not like what they see. So spears are going to come. The knives are going to come out. People are going to carve you up who love you, who are actually close to you. They'll actually pull out knives, and I call them knives because it's a close fight, right? And there's different reasons for it. Greg's dad was not exactly thrilled that he was going in the Marine Corps, not because he doesn't like the Marines or he's not a patriot, but it was his son. He had a vision for his son's future, and he was afraid for him, right? My mom did the same thing when I joined the Army. There are times when you pursue a dream where the people you love the most are afraid. They're afraid they'll lose you. They're afraid that you'll lose yourself. They're afraid that they can't come with you, and they'll carve you up without even realizing it. That's the knives. And then finally are the crabs. Right? These are your peers. These are the people that you've known for years or that you work with, and they'll say, who the hell do you think you are? Right? Who do you think you are going after this? You forget where you come from? And that hurts, right? And we step back. Well, maybe this is too big for me. I don't want to forget my raising. I don't want to forget where I come from. And we put that dream on a shelf. We cover those tracks up, and we stop leaving them. And we get back in the bleachers with all the other amateurs. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, and I don't want you to do that. I want you to do what Greg did. I want you to be unreasonable, right? I want you to get clear on what your vision is. What are your tracks? I've asked you this before. It's 15 years after you've died. The person who held your hand when you took your last breath is having coffee with someone you never met, and they're talking about the tracks you left. What would you have them say? Write it down. It's that simple. And then I want you to get deep on the preparation for it. What is it going to take to prepare, to build your platform, to take the mic? And I want you to be ruthless in the execution. I want you to be unreasonable. Right after 9/11, 2001, about 90 Green Berets went into Afghanistan. Everybody said it couldn't be done. Everyone said that every country that ever gone into Afghanistan has just gotten caught in the quagmire. These Green Berets, in less than 100 days, mobilized an entire indigenous population and threw the Taliban and Al-Qaeda out of the country. Now, granted, we were there much longer, but had we just stayed on that course, right, it would have been done pretty darn quickly. The point is 90 Green Berets into the graveyard of empires that had swallowed up Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Russia, Britain on multiple occasions. 90 guys, because they were unreasonable. They knew they were there to do something bigger than themselves. How about you? What's going on in your life with your tracks? And where do you need to start to be unreasonable in making those things happen? I want you thinking about that this week. I want you thinking about that in your life. And let us know. We want to hear from you. And share this video with your tribe. This is a movement for impact. We're taking the microphone. We're leading. We're changing things. And to do that, we're going to have to be unreasonable. I'll see you on the rooftop.